Houston Dash nearly back to full strength. Alicia Chapman, Olympic gold medalist with Canada, still not quite back with the team yet, but you saw some of those additions. Christy Mewis in the attack, fresh off the bronze medal with the U.S. national team, along with Jane Campbell in goal. And then Nichelle Prince, different type of threat that she adds to that attack, and you'll see a different bit of a formation as a result, more what we're typically used to seeing this Houston team in.
I think the two things that they're really going to focus on coming into this game, though, is something that we talked about on Wednesday in their opening match. The fact that they don't want to give up soft goals, too many early goals, too many soft goals, and then putting a 90-minute performance together, making sure that they play on both sides of the ball, continue to fight for one another.
Mariana, a brace on Wednesday. The offensive star for Barcelona, just not quite enough. Here is Graham Hansen. Her work with the ball at her feet, just superb. Patry, the captain tonight for Barcelona, as they work it around. Both outside backs new to the starting lineup. Melanie on one side, Jana on the other side for Barcelona. Aitana Bonmati, number 14, back to Mapi Leon. Jasmine Spencer being forced into that outside back position, while Houston awaits not only Alicia Chapman, but Haley Hansen getting healthy. James Clarkson certainly anticipating what a boost those two players can add, but also so appreciative players like Spencer for stepping in as needed. Campbell grabs the ball.
And the positioning of Spencer and Seiler this evening will be critical to the success of Houston this evening. Just making sure they don't get caught 1v1, that they have cover, and if players are coming through, that they're passing them on when needed. Because this Houston Dash team is going to have to be okay with not having the majority of the possession, making sure they bump players, and then when they win it, be extremely efficient going forward, finding the likes of Rachel Daly and Nichelle Prince over the top.
Saw Jonathan Giraldes, the new manager for Barcelona, as Mariona keeps this attack moving forward. Claudia Pina getting the start, number 6, came off the bench in the last match. Seiler. Katie Naughton played every minute for this Houston team this season, the center back. Melanie. And there is space there for Ana Sinargocevic. Former Portland Thorn, spent some time in the NWSL for a couple of seasons. Just continues to pressure after losing it.
And a really good example of Barcelona and their press going together. It's Sinargocevic that's dispossessed, but then everybody tight as a unit, win it back quickly. Rachel Daly with no outlet to be able to get in behind or drop the ball deep.
Sophie Schmidt, another Canadian gold medalist. Christy Mewis wanted a little bit more of a backwards bounce on that ball for Daly to run onto. Shea Groom. Had such a fantastic first half for Houston on Wednesday against Portland. Saw a lot of those Barcelona colors, sometimes a stripe, sometimes a different kit, but saw plenty of them walking around the street as we've been here in Portland. Here is Prince. Houston with more Olympians, 6 of them, than any other team in the NWSL. They have struggled, sitting toward the bottom of the table in 8th place in the league standings. And now, as they get these players like Nichelle Prince, Christy Mewis back, trying to be able to make a push toward the playoffs. Top 6 make the playoffs in the NWSL.
And it's something that James Clarkson talked to us about, which is knowing what they need to take care of, just having a more of a mentality defensively, getting back to the ways that won them the Challenge Cup in 2020, making sure they stop giving away the soft goals, defending set pieces, not giving away set pieces in dangerous areas that caused them the game, essentially against Portland on Wednesday evening.
In 3 of 4 matches coming into this tournament, Houston had given up a goal within the first 8 minutes of the match. Portland nearly struck in the 9th minute of theirs. So that has certainly been a focus. And we've talked about this coming into this tournament, but certainly these two teams in very different positions. Houston in the middle of their season, 10 games remaining in the NWSL when they get back into play next week. And Barcelona getting ready to start their season. Spanish League champions is what got them here. We have all 4 champions in this International Champions Cup. They had to earn their way here for the first time. It's the 3rd edition of this tournament. North Carolina Courage won it the first year. Lyon won it the next year.
And with only 2 days between these games, it will be interesting to see the rotation between each side. As you mentioned, Jen, players coming back for the Houston Dash. They've been able to rotate 3 changes to the lineup. But will all those players be able to go full 90, even though they are in the middle of their season, especially with a tough run coming up in the critical area of the NWSL season? And then for Barcelona, still working into match fitness. They only made 3 changes in their game against Lyon on Wednesday. So how do they hold up in terms of the fitness for the full 90?
And that may be why we have seen as many changes as we have, 4 of them to this Barcelona starting 11. You are allowed 11 substitutions, should you so choose, in this tournament. That ball brought down beautifully by Mariana. Schmidt still under some pressure. Serna Gorcevic got a touch. Gets it back. Irene Paredes, a new addition to this Barcelona team, coming over from PSG, where she won the French League title last season. Good step. Graham Hansen. Seiler doing her darndest to try to keep Graham Hansen under control. That does give up the corner.
And that's one of the reasons why Seiler is out in that left back position, typically a central midfielder, because Graham Hansen's so good 1v1. See if they can neutralize her a bit. But this is always going to be the issue for Houston tonight, how deep their defense is. 2 blocks of 8 already. Nichelle Prince having to drop deep. Who is going to be the outlet going forward?
Dash still not really out of danger. Ball into the box, punched away, right in the middle though. Christy Mewis helping Jane Campbell out.
And that was a terrific ball in, just whipped in behind, forcing Jane Campbell to come off her line, make a save. Unfortunately, no one there for Barcelona. But it's that ball whipped in behind. You can see all the defenders facing their own goal. Christy Mewis in the right place just to be able to get her foot on the ball and clear it out of danger.
Yeah, it's tough. It's not where you want to put the ball as a goalkeeper. Campbell knew it, but Mewis in really good position. And of course, we showed you before the match, Rachel Daly making just an incredible save with her head off the line to help her goalkeeper in that match, Amanda Dennis, out against Portland. Napi Leon, 5'6", 26-year-old defender. Houston can hit you hard and fast if they win it in a position like that. Mewis, a couple steps away.
And it's a good read from Mewis because we did see Barcelona defensively get caught against Lyon in that opening match on Wednesday, just with some of those unforced errors playing back or just out of shape defensively. And if Houston can stay disciplined in their block, but when they win it, find and connect passes, whether it's with Nichelle Prince or Rachel Daly, the highest player up top right now. But the movement of the ball is going to be necessary, especially if you can see Barcelona, how quickly they collapse defensively.
Mewis knew that she had Daly just hovering about that line. The touch not quite right. Kristie Mewis, who's had herself a resurgence both with the Houston Dash over the last couple of seasons, earning her spot back into the U.S. national team, along with her sister Sam. Aitana Bonmati was the player of the match for Barcelona in their Champions League final win over Chelsea 4-0 back in May. Here is Aitana, number 14 on the ball. Crnogorcevic, Swiss international. Mewis lifted her head to look for Daly. And the flag is up. Timing and the weight on the ball have to be just right for those.
And that's what will be an issue a little bit for Houston with getting the players back from the Olympics. They haven't seen in several weeks. Just making sure that everyone gets on the same page might take them this first half to be able to find that continuity again. But the longer that they can keep this game 0-0 and work themselves into it, bodes well for them in terms of getting a result.
It was Megan Oyster who played that ball forward. Oyster and not in the two center backs. Here's Veronica Latsko, whose play head coach James Clarkson has really lauded over these last few weeks with the Olympians away. Groom left that ball short. Spencer did her best to get to it. Oyster needs to be careful with Mariona right on her back. You can see how deep Daly has come to retrieve that ball. Now it is Latsko who'll go. The keeper well out, but offside anyway. And that is a new keeper for Barcelona, Gemma, rather than the regular starter Sandra Paños, who's also the starter for the Spanish national team. There are many members of the Spanish national team scattered throughout this Barcelona lineup. Also have Graham Hansen from Norway, Crnogorcevic from Switzerland in this starting 11 tonight. Here is Crnogorcevic making a crisscrossing run behind.
And that was a good looking run from Crnogorcevic. Just couldn't connect the pass. But it's that fluidity that we talked about coming into this game, Jen. That's so good from Barcelona. Just the mixing of players running through deep from the midfield position. Number 9, Mariona dropping deep. So difficult to stay with defensively.
Jana, 19-year-old, trying to push on that far side for Barcelona. It falls on the ground for Aitana. Almost as if she thought she had one of her own teammates there coming beside her, let up on it, just a little out of her reach.
And I think she thought the defender was going to come tighter than she actually did. Was trying to flick her over her foot to be able to take it the next touch. Really clever player, Aitana, though. We saw the movement off the ball, how she keeps this Barcelona team ticking. Just consistently finding space. And I think most importantly, find space where she's unable to get pressure against her.
Melanie looking central. This will be a free kick. That's a foul against Houston. So it's going to be a free kick for Barcelona. They play quickly for Mariana. Mewis. The Houston Dash through 15 minutes, hanging tight with this European champion team from Barcelona. And as James Clarkson said, a lot of people underestimating us, but hey, we've got more medals than they do on our team, especially with these Olympians, all of them medalists, either gold or bronze, coming back in. Mariana, edge of the box, Schmidt, one of those Canadian gold medal winners, stepping through, such a veteran for Canada and really playing an important role for Houston.
Good positioning from Jasmine Spencer out wide. And this team for Houston is built on for counterattacks to go forward quickly. They like to put teams under pressure with the balls over the top, but they might have to slow things down every once in a while. Can Rachel Daly come back to goal just to link up with Jasmine Spencer to be able to keep possession and then go out the other side? Because that pressure from Barcelona on both sides of the ball, whether it's higher up the field or the numbers they get behind the ball so quickly, smothering defense.
Serena Gorcevic, the ball just a little behind her, and she was offside anyway. It is a very high line from Houston, much like we saw Lyon employ for part of the match against Barcelona on Wednesday.
And in the opening minutes versus Lyon, Lyon hadn't figured it out, left a lot of room in the middle of the field, but also in behind. Then got the goal scored on them, stepped up their line, condensed the field. It was difficult for Barcelona to really get anything going. Didn't have anybody that could expose them in behind either. Made the game predictable for Lyon going forward.
There is Groom looking for a foul. Ball still alive. Let's go in the box for Houston. Can't keep it in. That's how quickly, though, this Dash team can transition.
And it's a good run out of midfield from Shea Groom. And just a sliding pass, though, to be able to get the ball into Latsko. And just that first touch, though, lets her down, has to get it away and finds itself over the inline. Not a bad idea, and that's where Shea Groom wants to get on the ball, running at the back line, running in through the midfield. This Barcelona side defensively is set up to defend passes. We'll see how they can deal with the likes of Shea Groom running with the ball out of the midfield. So difficult to defend.
And this really still is a blend for this Barcelona team. There are 4 starters here tonight who also started in that Champions League final. You've got some young players coming in. You've got some key players who are out or injured or not on this trip, like a Jenny Hermoso, Spain's all-time leading scorer. Mika Martens is on the bench. Here is Graham Hansen, though. Tremendously talented striker from Norway. Not quite sure if we'll be able to see Martens. She did not play on Wednesday, but she is here, the Netherlands international. Also Leila Wahabi, another Spanish international, not available for this Barcelona side in this tournament.
And what's so wonderful about this tournament, and all 4 teams have talked about it, yes, they're here to win. Yes, they want to get the results, even if it is the 3rd place game. But really, it's the competition, learning the different styles of play, and learning about themselves and where they can improve in facing teams that they don't typically face on a weekly basis.
Well, Barcelona in their last Spanish League season, they won their 2nd straight title, their 6th overall. They went 33-1-0 on the season, outscored their opposition 167-15. So yes, to get to play the likes of a Lyon at this point in their preseason preparation, and then to come in and play a very different type of team like the Houston Dash. Jonathan Giraldes talked about how beneficial that would be, and yeah, he said exactly what you said, Lori. They are looking to win this match, get some momentum, but it's all about getting them ready for that league season coming up in Spain. Pina on the turn, getting the start for Barcelona. 20-year-old pops it wide for Graham Hansen. Gets it across. Graham Hansen does, but too close to Jane Campbell.
And Graham Hansen continues to be so dangerous on that right-hand side, going in line, cutting back to her left foot. Another dangerous ball. Easy pickoff from Jane Campbell. Well read. Barcelona teammates need to make sure that they're crashing in the box. That's a dangerous ball in behind that back line of Houston Dash.
Let's go. A little too much contact, says our referee, Samantha Martinez.
And certainly a foul there. And I saw Christy Mewis off the ball shaking her hand saying, let's pick up the pace, let's pick up the pace. And I think that's a good call for her, the Houston side. At times, can they slow it down and keep possession, enjoy having the ball at their feet, but at times also can they go more direct, quicker, see if they can catch Barcelona out.
Pina to Crnogorcevic. Graham Hansen couldn't turn and get there before Seiler. Seiler, a trade from the Portland Thorns, joining Houston. A giveaway, though. It falls to Mariona. Now Pina. Spencer got there. Falls back. The shot taken and saved by Campbell. That was Patrick Guijarro. 23-year-old Spanish midfielder for Barcelona.
And if Houston Dash is only going to play with Rachel Daly up top, she has to do a better job of going up and competing for the long ball, because that entire play was because Barcelona was able to win the ball back in the air, had numbers forward.
Sophie Schmidt. Houston still trying to find that right ball. Not quite there yet. As a 21-year-old goalkeeper, Gemma gets to it. Has the mix been right so far for Houston, Lori, do you think, and how often they're trying to play that ball as quickly as they've been playing it?
Well, right now it is a bit rushed because they're on defense the majority of this game, but defensively they have done well. Outside of the few balls that Graham Hansen has played in behind, that Jane Campbell has come out and collected or punched away nicely, there hasn't been really any clear-cut opportunities for Barcelona. But now it'll be about finding that outlet, and if they can hold on to the ball, whether it's Rachel Daly or even Nichelle Prince higher up the field, getting numbers in and around. It might not be one direct ball over the top, but if they can get 2 or 3 passes and then go, they can catch Barcelona out.
There's Mapi Leon. Went to Groom. Daly will give chase. She'll take her first touch, maybe just trying to catch everybody a little off guard, but it doesn't work unless you put it on target.
And that's where Houston can be better. With the quality of Rachel Daly going forward, you know she's looking to see if she can find a goal quickly. But can she just put her foot on it and start to play a little bit of Barcelona's game? They're not going to have them as much possession, but just switch the point, circulate the ball, and look to find those gaps in Barcelona's defense.
Crowd realizing this is a chance. Graham Hansen once again has been so dangerous when she has had the ball at her feet for Barcelona. Schmidt. Oyster will allow Campbell to bomb it forward. Paredes trying to pick out Crnogorcevic. Patry, excuse me, playing that ball. Barcelona still on it in the area. Here comes Pina. Takes her shot from outside the area, but it's wide.
And it's good little quick combination play. Mariona does well to hold on to this ball, just screening Sophie Schmidt. And then it's Pina that just sneaks in behind Shea Groom to be able to get off a shot. The last minute, Shea Groom's able to cut down the pressure, forcing Pina to send it wide.
Pina, a member of the 2018 U17 World Cup championship team for Spain. Not only a member of that team, but she won the golden ball and the golden boot. And the Spanish youth national teams really been impressive. Also been competing very well, getting their senior team more onto the world stage as they were at the 2019 World Cup.
Really good work from Gabby Seiler. Just continue to stand their ground, see if she can frustrate Graham Hansen on that right-hand side. We've seen Graham Hansen already starting to tuck in centrally more than we did throughout that game against Lyon. And you wonder if she's just trying to play around a little bit to see if she can pull Gabby Seiler out or just find more room for herself.
It's quite a task that James Clarkson has given Gabby Seiler, hasn't it, in this match with Graham Hansen and all that she poses as a threat. Jonathan Giraldez just took over this Barcelona side in July following the departure of Luis Cortez. Giraldez had been on staff, though, the last couple years as an assistant. You sense the feeling out process for Barcelona, trying to figure out a way to unlock all those orange jerseys for Houston. Graham Hansen has certainly been a good key. Prince hasn't seen much of the ball, has she, in this match?
Well, she's having to drop so deep to help out defensively with Jasmine Spencer, especially as Crnogorcevic gets higher up the field. We see Melanie almost as a wing back at times for Barcelona on the left side.
Quick turn for Patry. Take the shot with her left foot, tapped up and over by Campbell. A little too much space for the liking of Houston, I would say, in that attempt.
And they have to stay disciplined and tuned in to what's happening, because Patry just sells this on Katie Naughton, is able to drag it across her body to the left foot. Great save from Jane Campbell to just get up, read it the whole way to tip it over. And now it will be about continuing to make sure that they stay focused on these set pieces. Don't give anything away. Have done well these first 30 minutes.
Portland scored off a corner on Wednesday against Houston. It has been an area of concern defending set pieces for this Dash team over the last few matches. Portland getting their 2 goals off of a corner kick and then directly off of a free kick off the foot of the 15-year-old Olivia Moultrie, her first professional goal. So if you had to pick a word, Lori, for each team through the first 30 minutes, how Barcelona feels, how Houston feels, what do you think?
Well, I think Barcelona feels patient, in control. That's more than one word.
It's okay, I'll give you a couple.
Patient and control, but also know that they can be even more effective going forward. And how do they do that? Continuing to play their game, knowing how quickly, Houston Dash collapses defensively.
Such good connections. Aitana now out to Graham Hansen. The touch to set herself up. It's a little high. It was tapped. And another corner kick coming the way of Barcelona.
and how quickly Barcelona can exploit those spaces in between the line. If the Houston Dash don't get numbers behind, Graham Hansen again finding some space out wide, taking on, not afraid to cut that front foot of Gabby Seiler, sends that one over. Does get clipped for a corner.
Rachel Daly trying to talk her team through this preparation for the corner kick coming from Graham Hansen. Spent 5 years in Wolfsburg before coming over to Barcelona in the 1920 season. Short right along that end line, and now they'll ask Graham Hansen to serve again. She makes a move, wants a better angle, takes it herself. Both players there for Houston, right in front of the goal, living dangerously.
Oh my goodness, Graham Hansen, just with the subtle details that separates herself, sells a little cut back, finds time and space, opts to go herself. And unfortunate for Barcelona not to have a better opportunity, and Rachel Daly down off the ball now.
And that is Daly right there. That was in front of Campbell.
Helping out Jane Campbell in goal.
Trying to get herself another save in the books, but yeah, it certainly seems to be in some pain after that ball came in. Watch how she lands here.
Yeah, it's a tough angle to see, but either way, she does come down on that shoulder.
Talk about textbook, though,
but
making
actually it's
sure.
the right shoulder that she's holding now.
Yeah, and I was going to say, just making sure you saw how she tucked that arm tight to her body, making sure there was no chance of a handball.
Yeah, really smart play from Rachel Daly and just continuing to help cover. Highlighted the header off the goal line against Portland on Wednesday night to keep that game 1-0. You know, going back to your question earlier about these two teams, and I said about Barcelona, but for Houston Dash, it would have to be comfortable with where they are right now. Yes, Barcelona starting in the last few minutes, getting a few more opportunities on goal, but for the most part, Houston doing a good job of collapsing centrally, making the game predictable, giving those wide channels to Barcelona and forcing them to have to be able to serve balls in that Houston can defend. Now it'll be about on the offensive side. What do? Can they get more players around the ball, especially when Rachel Daly goes up to challenge for the headers, whether it's running off or players in behind, so they can win the second and third ball, because right now that's where Barcelona is winning this game.
It looks like we're watching Rachel Daly along the sideline. She is trying to get her way back on the field. At the moment, she is off, and she is the all-time leading scorer, 30 goals against all competition, and she does trot back on there, so that's a good sign. How close to 100% she is, we don't know. But the captain back out there for the Dash.
And you never want to risk the health of players, but a 75% Rachel Daly is sometimes better than a full 100 for some other players, especially with what she means to this club.
A true leader, really, in every way. It's James Clarkson talks a lot about. She leads with her play. She leads with the way that she talks to the team. We saw her getting them ready before that corner kick. She leads with her defending when needed.
And I'll be curious to see if the Houston Dash will see if they can step up their pressure. It's always a fine line, especially against Barcelona, with how good they are on the ball. Good run from Srna Gorcevic.
Yeah, she gets herself on it. The ball goes off the crossbar and in. Another former Portland Thorn coming back and scoring at Providence Park, as we saw Amandine Henry do for Lyon on Wednesday.
And there's been a few times throughout this first half that Srna Gorcevic has made the outside in run. Barcelona just hasn't been able to find her. This time she comes all the way across. They are able to thread it through. It's a good-looking pass past Naughton, who gets caught out. And at first I thought she hits it, which I think she does. She just catches the underneath of the crossbar, and it continues to bounce in. Just couldn't get her hips around it. But a goal's a goal, and it was a good run. And actually, I don't know, she sees Jane Campbell right at the end to be able to come off her line and tucks it in under.
Hits a little bit of everything on the way in there. Crossbar, post, but gives Barcelona the advantage. And you're right, she has, Srna Gorcevic, been making those runs crisscrossing. They either weren't timed right or the ball wasn't right. That one, she got exactly what she needed.
And it's really unfortunate, though, because with a stoppage in play with Rachel Daly down, it was a time for Houston to be able to regroup, and just seconds later conceding this goal. Those are the moments where they have to be better, not only in this tournament, but in the NWSL as well. Just getting caught in the moments when they have to be turned on, not conceding right after a stoppage in play.
A lot of space for Pina to turn. Mariona wants to go wide again. And why not Graham Hansen back to Pina. Good two-person game. Now Aitana in the mix. And a foul against Houston will set Barcelona up for a free kick now.
It's just such good interplay, and this is a good example of the Mariano dropping deep from that number 9 position, forcing Oyster to come out of that back line, step up, draws the foul, and a dangerous free kick right on top of the box.
So Houston did concede directly off of a free kick against the Portland Thorns in their last match. It was the game-tying goal. Olivia Moultrie shot it. Campbell not in goal for that one. She's trying to get her wall set up. They'll need to do better than they did on that attempt against Portland. Right off the wall, it does its job initially, but Melanie tries to follow. Possession at close to 75% for Barcelona in this match. And I think Houston knew they would have a lot of the ball. I'm not sure they knew it would be quite that much. Or maybe they did. What can they do with their 25%? That will be their question. Mariona.
And Jim, we talked about the fluidity. That's Mariano dropping deep to help out Mapi Leon to set play in the back line. That's their number 9. Just the understanding, the fluidity of all of the players. Regardless of what formation you're playing in, there's the understanding of where to be, where to find the space. And that alone is what makes it so difficult to defend.
Barcelona, long known for playing a beautiful brand of soccer, whether it's the men or the women. But now this Barcelona women's team really making a statement with that first Champions League title back in May for the club, coming off their best season ever, winning the treble, Spanish League title and Champions League title, Copa de la Reina. Srna Gorcevic playing with some confidence. Graham Hansen, nice Aitana. A lot of space for Patry. And even with some screen in front of her, the ball does come right to Campbell, makes the save. Shots 9-1 in favor of Barcelona in this match. Latsko makes a move. Does she have support? Christy Mewis may have dropped a little deeper on the field. Was able to get up in that attack, but now watch out. Here comes Barcelona and Graham Hansen still with it. Srna Gorcevic. Back across it goes. It's in the middle. Not cleared now. Out to the side.
Good work from Naughton to get back and get a touch on the ball. Good interplay and quick transition, especially as Houston Dash opens up to try to get numbers forward. A good look at the different ways that Barcelona can hurt you, not just with the possession, but also once the game does open up, and if they can't go direct over the top, which we don't typically see Barcelona do, they can hurt you in between the lines, get the ball wide, and create issues.
Seiler looking for Mewis. Now this move does allow for the throw-in for Houston. It allows the Dash to get more numbers. Of course, it also allows Barcelona to set themselves defensively. So can Houston figure out how to get a shot, get something off here before the first half ends? Seiler for Daly. Spencer was ready to go, but not quite yet, says a referee. Patry. Over to Jana. Mariona. She's been relatively quiet. Mariona Caldente, number 9 in this match for Barcelona.
Well, also goes back to, we were talking about her playing that number 9 position, but then we see Aitana moving forward. She's dropping back to help set play. Just the movement off the ball allows Serna Gorcevic to be able to cut in and play centrally as well up top. So quieter than what we saw against Lyon in terms of those penetrating runs in behind. Still getting a number of touches to help set play, circulate the ball around for Barcelona.
Patry is making it look easy. Overlapping run for Jana, the 19-year-old on the ground. Couple of Barcelona players there. There is Mariana.
And Barcelona do such a good job of sucking Houston in defensively and centrally, and then looking to find those wide channels. This time it's Jana that gets higher up the field, serves a ball in that could have been picked off, but does land to Mariona. Just pulls it wide on her initial shot.
Naughton trying to find the right avenue forward. It doesn't last long. Here is Schmidt.
And Jen, we talk so much about Barcelona's ability on the ball and going forward, but never enough credit for how quickly they react once they do lose the ball. Players stepping to, just shutting down the angles, winning if they can, or toe poking it away, allowing for players to get back and recover. And then they're in such good position to go forward with numbers around the ball.
There just seems to be such a good understanding of the identity of this team, how they want to play, despite the fact that they made 4 changes. Jonathan Giraldez coming into this match. They have some younger players out there.
And that goes back to their academy and their homegrown talent and what that means to not only Barcelona, but also Lyon that we saw on Wednesday, and we'll see later tonight in the championship game against Portland. But just the continuity of bringing those younger players through the system and understanding Sonia Bompastor, the Lyon coach now, 7 years with the academy, her understanding to be able to bring those players up to get them minutes in these types of games. So important to the club.
That's an offside on Houston and Daly. 2 minutes of stoppage time put up for the end of our first half. It'll be interesting to see how Houston responds. I mean, I feel like that's kind of been what we've been looking for the last few weeks for this Houston Dash team. In fact, they had a crushing loss against OL Reign, bounced back to come back and earn a draw on their home field in their last league match against Washington. Patry sees a runner. It's Melanie, doesn't quite get there. Mariana. Aitana. Graham Hansen. Don't make the wrong choice defensively. Barcelona can make you pay, and you can almost see the gears turning sometimes with these Houston players. Do I step to the ball, or do I try to figure out where they're going to pass it?
And why these games are so invaluable to both of these teams. For Barcelona, it's about playing against a team that wants to be more direct. How do they control that? And then for Houston, it's really, for Houston, it's really about how do they defend that? How do they defend all the runners coming through?
Ana Crnogorcevic, her goal in the 34th minute, the difference. Barcelona leading Houston 1-0 at the half in the third place match of the Women's International Champions Cup.
time used to come get that. I'm like,
Welcome back to Providence Park. Second half about to get underway of this third place match of the International Champions Cup. Barcelona hanging on to a 1-0 lead over the Houston Dash after the first half. Both teams making some changes. What you saw on the board right there was Emily Ogle coming in for Christy Mewis for the Dash. Former Portland Thorns player back in Providence Park. We had a couple of those stories of Thorns players. Asisat Oshuala coming on for Barcelona. One of 3 changes there, along with Alexia. And then Andrea Pereira. Looks like Michelle Alozi also coming on for Houston. 2 changes for the Dash. Was that? So Nichelle Prince, Christy Mewis, 2 of those Houston Dash players who had just come back and rejoined the team off of the Olympics, going to the bench after the first 45. There is Oshuala, and we'll give you a moment here, Lori, to kind of see how things settle out. Curious to see how this Barcelona team in particular reorganizes with some of these changes. Pereira, a rather unwelcome into the match there against Latsko, and it earns Houston the free kick. Serna Grocevic off for Barcelona, the goal scorer. Oshuala on in her place. Here's the free kick into the area. Ogle, who just came on for Houston. Good idea, get it back to Daly. The English international captain for the Dash. Ogle bumped off the ball. A little too much force that time by Alexia Patelis.
Ogle just doing a good job of screening. And we'll see what kind of difference these substitutes make coming in. Just the energy, their desire to make an impact.
Ball still bouncing in the box. Houston with a chance to equalize. They get some help from Barcelona, and they do. You get a little physical and careless. You give up free kicks in bad places. A couple in quick succession for Houston. And this will go down as an own goal, but it's created by the Dash.
And it's a good ball in, just dumped in behind, but you can see the poor marking. Melanie gets caught off, not tracking, not on that back far post, not just sneaks in, has time to be able to get her hips around it. And then it is ultimately an own goal from Barcelona as they're tracking back, facing their own goal, looking to see if they can clear it. 1-1, game on now.
That's right.
An excellent start for the Houston Dash to come in. Ogle drawing that foul immediately, the substitute.
Will there be a response from Barcelona? Carolina Graham-Hansen getting it to the end line, causing so much trouble for Barcelona. Shot put back on goal and in the gloves of Campbell. Melanie Serrano.
And with those changes from Barcelona, we will see Oshuala, number 20 for Barcelona, play in that number 9 central attacking role. It'll move Pina, number 6, who was in the central midfield position, out wide left, as Alexia also enters in the attacking midfield. Alexia so good at making those runs, but also Ushuaia just giving this Barcelona side a little bit of a different look, being able to play in behind, play on the back shoulder, see how this game opens up, because that's not something that we saw very much in the first half, and being able to play those direct balls over the top.
Napi Leon had such composure in that back line for Barcelona, just 26 years old, but an important piece of this team in their defense. Alexia, just a little slip on the turf. Schmidt looking forward for Latsko. Centering ball.
Jim, we talked about how good Barcelona is on their press, going together, the first line, then the second line. But if there is any knock on this team, it is about being exposed in behind their defensive line, especially as they push higher. Typically leave only 2 players back, Pereira and Leon, those 2 central defenders. The more that Houston can get on the ball and look to see if they can play direct, but be efficient in the balls that they're playing in those wide channels over the back line, could cause some issues.
And meanwhile, if you're Barcelona, no real reason to go away from what you've been doing, what you're good at. And this is with the fouls and the disjointed play thus far, have not looked as much themselves as they did in the first half.
And I think that's the key for Barcelona, is just their ability to continue to play, continue to probe, find the wide channels when necessary that will open up space centrally, where they do ultimately like to play as well, with this quick little interplay between their midfielders. Just need to make sure, though, they're not giving silly fouls away, leaving themselves exposed on set pieces.
Daly charging through the middle, looking to go right back up the center. Pina. Seiler was ready for it that time. The ball coming toward Graham Hansen. Jana and Graham Hansen not quite on the same page. This a look at the goal. And Katie Nunn does have a couple already this season in the regular season for the Houston Dash. She won't get credited with that one, but certainly a big part of it. It was an own goal on Jana officially.
It was an interesting positioning from Jana, because obviously knew that Daly was sneaking on that back shoulder of her on the far post. But to come across it instead of swinging her body to try to kick it over the end line, I'm not sure what her ultimate decision was.
That's kind of how a lot of people, you watching, maybe feel as well. It's just been a lot of bodies hitting the turf, both teams. Houston says, no problem. We can handle this type of play. Getting a goal in the first 3 minutes to equalize to start this second half. Patry had Aitana in the middle. Graham Hansen crossing in. Back to Aitana. I tell you, the work of Gabby Seiler has been impressive so far defensively.
It certainly has, and just the positioning that she's getting herself into to make sure that she limits Graham Hansen as much as possible, being able to go inline, forcing her back centrally when necessary, where they have more numbers defensively for the Dash. You know, and coming into this game, Jonathan Heraldez, the head coach for Barcelona, talked about the response he wanted to see. This team not accustomed to losing games, especially the success, after the success they've had this entire season. But I think more so it's about the response after this goal from the Houston Dash. We saw them collapse a little bit once Lyon got themselves back into the game. Once they got the equalizer. And now can they just get back to their ways, connect their passes? There's a disruption in play will benefit the Dash, just to slow things down and not have that fluidity that Barcelona wants.
Jana getting up, getting it across. Ashwala, the four-time African Player of the Year for Nigeria, had it on her foot for a moment. Alozie also playing for Nigeria, came on at the half for Houston, so those two country women facing off. Patry, met by Groom. Nobody on Jana. Alexia, as Barcelona shifts the pieces around, and it looks like Samantha Martinez saw some contact in there as Schmidt came across. Had the card in her pocket for a moment. It looked like she put it back.
And Schmidt doing all she can, and then just the last minute trying to go to ground to block a shot, but really good work from Alexia just to try to pull it back, cut the momentum of Schmidt. Ends up catching her for a dangerous free kick right on top of the box. Really similar to what we saw in the first half.
Barcelona had a similar setup on a free kick in the first half. It went right into the wall of the Dash. This time, Wall does its job again. Mapi Leon. Patry wanted the big switch. Latsko disrupted it for a moment. Seiler just got a little caught up. Aitana. Willer in the corner. First of the second half for either team, fourth of the match for Barcelona. Graham Hansen, fairly obvious strip by Alozie. It is outside the area, of course, but still could be a dangerous spot.
And these are the unnecessary challenges from Houston that they need to make sure they're not continuously giving these away. It's just a little feint from Graham Hansen, allows for Alozie to come in, not be able to stall her momentum going forward. Specifically, this is what James Clarkson talked about, giving away set pieces and then not defending them well. Good opportunity for the Dash to make sure they stay touch tight on their players.
Melanie on the ground, tantalizing ball. Graham Hansen, Daly defending. Did well, turned her back around, at least temporarily. Jana. I mean, that ball, that space has been there this entire start to the second half for Barcelona. Alexia. Is that a space you think Laurie Houston is willing to concede as they're watching all of the interchange more centrally?
Well, 100%, because the dangerous positions for Barcelona on this field is centrally on top of the box. That's the first place that the Dash need to make sure that they have tight and occupied to make sure that Barcelona is not able to get their little quick interchange.
Oshuala bothered just enough by Gabby Seiler.
And once again, a huge play from Gabby Seiler. This time just tucks in, sees the run from Oshuala, has Oyster beat, and it's that last attempt right there for Seiler to go to ground, has to make sure that she gets the ball. And it's the hesitation, the last second from Oshuala that allows Seiler to be able to come in and make the play.
Another corner kick from the far side now for Barcelona, headed by Alexia. Aitana. Second ball to Barcelona, the follow-up shot saved by Campbell.
And just when you think the ball in is a low percentage ball, they're able to make something out of it. Aitana just whipping this in, and it's a poor clearance. Naughton can't get it out of her own penalty spot area, and then Alexia keeps it alive with a little clever back heel. Very similar, though, to what we saw in terms of the rhythm of these games against Leona for Barcelona. Had the majority of the play, possession in the first 20, 25 minutes of the game against Lyon, then conceded another. And then they started to play more direct, not their typical movement where they have more players combined. You see, these are the balls that Houston Dash will welcome to be able to clear out of their box, be able to defend easily. This is a different look having Oshuala in there, a more direct player, as I mentioned earlier, a player that will sit on that back shoulder, whereas Mariona, who she came in for, will drop deep, allowing for more players to run in behind. We'll see how that plays through in terms of the balls that Barcelona are looking for throughout this half.
Barcelona does have 3 more changes getting ready to come in. You can see the dominance in shots, same in possession. Scoreline, though, is even, and here comes Groom. Daly saying, where is everybody? All she sees is red and blue. Spencer in the box for Groom, headed it in! What a tournament it has been for Shea Groom.
And talk about her response from the Houston Dash. And it's Jasmine Spencer that's able to get herself higher up the field because of the patience from Rachel Daly, just to pull it back, allow for more players to get involved into the attack. And this has to be a save from Barcelona's goalkeeper, Gemma. He just sneaks in underneath. Credit to Shea Groom to get up. That's a great header to win it in the air, push it down to that far post, down where it came from and back across. And then Gemma, unfortunately, can't get to it, sneaks underneath her.
Shea Groom giving the Houston Dash the lead over the European champions from Barcelona. Her 3rd goal of this tournament, this coming in the 63rd minute. Meanwhile, a trio of changes have come on for Barcelona after that goal. Number 8, Marta Torrejon will come in on defense, replacing the 19-year-old Jana. Bruna Villamila, the 19-year-old forward, coming on in the attack for Aitana. And then Lika Martens making her first appearance in this tournament, the former FIFA World Player of the Year for the Netherlands. See what kind of a difference she might be able to make. Wearing number 22, here she is on the ball now. Martens touches it out wide. Could be an immediate difference for Barcelona. So a lot of changes, but you can see what kind of firepower Barcelona can bring off the bench in the form of Alika Martins, of an Asisat Oshuala, a veteran in a defender like Marta, number 8. And does this lead now, Lori, change how Houston opts to play? We'll see. There's Martins. Had a chance to catch up with who will be her future coach with the Netherlands national team, Mark Parsons, currently the head coach of the Portland Thorns. He was able to touch base with both Martins and Daniela van de Donk, who plays for Lyon. Daly looking for a Losey. Not a bad idea.
A bit more confidence now from the Houston Dash. Another good look at the goal. It's the ball served in, that far post right on the header. Great ball in from Jasmine Spencer, and then it's Shea Groom rising above, just getting enough power on it to knock it down, getting it underneath it. The outstretched Gemma.
Oshuala trying to turn the corner on Naughton, gets it across. Had Martins in a good spot. You get the feeling there's more to come from this Barcelona team that, as we said, is not accustomed to losing. Carolina Graham-Hansen, 4 defenders around her, knew there was an open player. It was Bruna, the 19-year-old. Didn't get the strike she wanted. Change now for Houston. We'll bring on one of the players that is new but old in a way for Houston. Latsko coming off, and she'll be replaced by Michaela Abam, a Houston native, plays for the Cameroon national team, played for West Virginia collegiately, and most importantly for Houston, Lori, this is the start of what they hope will be something they see a lot more of in the future, which is a player who has come up through the Dash Dynamo Academy. She's the first now to join the Dash after coming through some of those youth clubs. And Latsko in some pain as she comes off. Don't like to see that.
No, and Latsko has been very good, has really helped this team through some of the ups and downs as of late in terms of her work ethic, both on both sides of the ball. Good compliment to Rachel Daly, just being able to tuck in, and now Abam being able to come in and give a little bit of a different look to this team as well. A lot of speed up top, but also their ability to time their runs in behind, I think, causes even more issues for Barcelona.
Oshuala from the ball from Martins. Just let it get away from her.
And well done from Oshuala. It's just a last touch at the end. It's Alika Martins that plays this ball and then gets on the wrong side of Oyster. So that last touch, though, that lets her down, able for Jane Campbell to come out and smother it. But as this game opens up, that is an area that the Houston Dash are going to want to be aware of, that space in behind, especially as Alika Martins starts to get on the ball deeper and run at the back line.
Now, certainly there is some concern over there on that Houston bench, because the big push for this Dash team all along has been, let's get everyone back, let's get healthy, let's get ready for this crucial stretch of the regular season. Certainly hope Latsko is okay. Corner for Barcelona, driven. Daly just finds her way onto the ball, whether it's on offense or defense. Still, it is with Graham-Hansen and Barcelona. Being hounded by Abam. Did enough of her job defensively. Forced the ball back. Alexia. Marta now. Back to Alexia. Around the corner goes Marta. And another corner kick. These are starting to mount for Barcelona.
This is a really great opportunity for the Houston Dash. As we came into this game talking about a full 90-minute performance, find themselves up 2-1 now after conceding so much possession in that first half. Get themselves back into the game. Now defensively, can they continue to stay tight, continue to work for one another, make sure they alleviate any unnecessary pressure.
7th corner kick, 4th of the second half here for Barcelona. Headed initially by Naughton. Abam couldn't clear. There is a foul and it's a penalty. Barcelona will be headed to the spot with a chance to tie.
And from the initial angle, it was tough because it looked like the two of them collided and Alexia's momentum goes over, but it is taken out as Oyster comes through right there and gets all of Alexia right in front of the referee.
Well, Jane Campbell is typically one of the very best at defending penalties. Can she keep her team in the lead here against Alexia Putellas? Campbell will take that center spot when she's good and ready.
A little bit of sportsmanship, your gamesmanship, I should say, for Jane Campbell, just slowing things down and forcing Alexia to think about the penalty kick.
And that run to the Challenge Cup in 2020, she had a couple crucial saves in a quarterfinal shootout. Alexia got the corner, and we are tied.
And just a confident and calm penalty kick. Just a slow run up, but at the last minute closes her hips and just tucks it into the near post, forces Jane Campbell to go one way. Alexia goes the other.
And just as you were saying, can Houston figure out a way to see this out, not give up a soft goal? It's tough when you put the other team on the penalty spot. That was a beautifully taken right in the corner penalty. And you think of little moments too, Lori, that can make a big difference. I mean, you think about Abam having some difficulty getting that bouncing ball cleared. It doesn't get cleared. It falls to the center. Oyster comes in to try to get it out of there, and that's when the foul is committed and the penalty is awarded.
And it's something that Clarkson has said throughout this entire season, getting punished for those little mistakes. How do they clean those up? And getting a great opportunity against another wonderful team in Barcelona. Continuing to fight.
And you may begin to wonder if that's not the last penalty that we see. If we are to stay tied after 90, and we still have some time left for that to change, of course, but if we are to stay tied, we would go directly to a shootout to determine the winner of this third place match. No extra time.
But the biggest difference in this second half for the Dash is them stepping up their pressure, getting higher up the field, and has allowed them to get these quick turnovers or fouls that put them in advantageous positions.
Another good looking ball from Daly. Little shake and shimmy over the ball from Seiler. Naughton delivers. Alozie giving chase. Alozie, a player in her first year with the Houston Dash. Made her NWSL debut with the club in early July. Alexia looking for the space. Graham Hansen now. Back to a wide open Alexia. Graham Hansen's shot, and it just seems like Barcelona is doing what they want with the ball.
And doing what they want and doing at ease. Most teams that we see would take that shot initially from Alexia. She just cuts it back onto right foot to find Graham Hansen. Well done from Rachel Daly to come across and get her body in front of that attempt. But it's those subtle movements that pulls teams out defensively, makes it so difficult and you have to chase.
8th corner kick for Barcelona. Houston has yet to take one in the match. Martin's on the far side. It's been really good since she's come into this match, as you would expect for Barcelona. From a FIFA World Player of the Year in 2017. She has played every match. Martins did every minute, in fact, for the Netherlands at the Olympics, scored 4 goals. Always such a fun player to watch.
And how good were they? Couldn't get past the United States in the end, but such a good team collectively, individually.
Yeah, I got to see the Netherlands a couple of times, and watching that quarterfinal match with the United States was certainly nerve-wracking, one that wound up going to penalties, the U.S. advancing. A bam. Just keeping the defender on her back, maybe thinking she'd have a foul whistle there, but it didn't come. Alexia wanted Martins. Spencer headed it down. A bam. There's looked to be some pretty obvious contact there. I'm not quite sure how that wasn't called. From Pereira, number 17. Daly calling for it. Just out of her reach. That's trouble. Graham Hansen turns. Seiler had been pulled out. Bruna over to Alexia. She'll take the shot. It's a beauty for Alexia in Barcelona.
And just like that, Barcelona takes the lead. They pull Houston Dash out by playing wide. Alexia sitting on top of the penalty spot. They're patient with their possession. And then right here, they don't get tight enough. Sophie Schmidt, too much time and space on top of the box, and Alexia just unleashes a left-footed strike to that upper corner. What a strike by the central midfielder and the substitute.
Gorgeous goal. Give her the brace now. One from the penalty spot. One she earns every bit of it with that strike. Gets her team the lead. The 27-year-old plays internationally for Spain. Had 18 goals in league play for Barcelona last season. They're looking for more right off the bat. Not a bad idea by Bruna.
And it's that space that we've talked about that is exactly where Barcelona wants to find the ball, right on top of the penalty spot. And it's an area that you have to think that the Houston Dash will go back and look and say, where do we want to protect the most? Yes, give them the space out wide, but credit to Barcelona dragging them out, being patient, finding Graham Hansen initially. Then it's the ball in that is able to be found to Alexia on top of the box, and this is a strike, and they're not able to get the pressure that they need on that attempt on goal.
Martins. Spencer, the converted defender, has her hands full with Lika Martins out there. Good step from Daly. Still trying to make a play on the ball is Daly, and it pays off. Groom saw an opening for Abam. Michaela Abam in her Houston debut made some magic late, had the equalizer in their last regular season match against the Washington Spirit. Oshwala, Naughton trying to hold her off. Oshwala at the near post where Campbell is waiting. Shots over 20 now for Barcelona, just 4 for the Dash. Bruna. Emily Ogle is down for Houston. Play continues. Could be problematic, and the referee actually will blow the whistle, which I think is probably not going to make a lot of Barcelona fans happy, but obviously she's wanting to come over and check on Ogle, who knew right away something wasn't right. Ogle, 25 years old, in her first year with the Dash, played with Portland 2019, 2020, 2019 being her rookie year. And so as she tries to gather herself, it gives both teams a moment to gather together. Tide has shifted though, hasn't it, Lori? I mean, you felt like Houston really had grabbed a hold of this match. They had gotten themselves out in the lead after the goal from Groom in the 63rd minute, and then I think the subs have made a big difference, and then Barcelona has just found their way back in with a vengeance.
And a really good start to this second half for the Houston Dash, stepping up the pressure, taking their chances when needed. That's what we talked about coming into this game, being efficient when they do get forward. And then we're diligent defensively, but it'd be Barcelona just wearing them down, continuing to be patient in their attack. And if you don't close them down, they will make you pay. And we saw that in the go-ahead goal for sure with Alexi on top of the box.
Great to see Ogle back up, giving some positive signs to James Clarkson there on the sideline. Houston had a couple of subs at the ready. Maybe waiting to see what happens here with Ogle. Looks like she is wanting to go back out. Campbell get the ball up the field in a hurry. This one will trickle all the way to the opposing goalkeeper, Gemma. Some clapping in the crowd, appreciating Ogle's return to the field. And Daly. What can she carve up here for Houston? Not much, as it goes to Graham Hansen back to help defensively.
And well read from Graham Hansen, but that's better from the Houston Dash. Why not go direct? See if you can start to push the pace these last 10 minutes. At this point in time, it doesn't matter if you lose 4-2, 3-2. See if you can sneak one back early on. You've had success being able to play those balls in those wide channels behind the back line of Barcelona.
Meanwhile, Barcelona certainly can afford to play keep away, something at which they are very adept. The 75% possession number will tell you that. Bam flicks it forward. Ashwala looking to run. Naughton got to head to it. Martins can't get past Spencer, does get a corner. Not sure the last time I've seen a corner kick disparity quite like this. This will be the 9th for Barcelona, none for Houston, and they are making a change. Patry Guijarro will come out. And that will bring on Maria Perez, number 29. Maria making her first appearance in this tournament.
3 minutes, yeah.
Houston has a couple of subs standing by as well, but the corner kick will happen first. Naughton was there defensively, did enough. '87th minute. Barcelona taking the lead in the 78th minute. Alexia, the last 2 goals 6 minutes apart for Barcelona. Pulling the Spanish side even, and then out in front. Houston trying to find something here late. At this point, fighting to get themselves into the shootout. Bam, a chance here. Michaela Bam! Oh, what a moment.
And what a great ball from Shea Groom. This ability to find her faced up, essentially with no pressure on the ball. And then a Bam with a good time run. But that ball's right in the path of a Bam to be able to play first time. She just pulls it wide. She has to do better. Yes, Gemma's coming off her line, closing down the angle. She has 2 Barcelona defenders around her. But the goal is wide open with Gemma coming out. Really good look from the Houston Dash.
Groom, boy, that would have been a nice way to finish things off before she comes off.
And from our angle, it looked like it was going in.
Yes, it did. It did. Makame Gamera Stevens coming on to replace Groom. Christine Nairn also came on in place of Sophie Schmidt for Houston. Alexia. Graham Hansen, Marta. Marta keeping it alive. Oshwala, the quick turn, but not on target. And we do have another player down, and it's Ogle again. We saw her before behind the play. She tried to come back and play on it, but she may need to come to the side now. Both Daly and Bam over to comfort her. And Oh, you hate to see that. 25-year-old out of Penn State, Emily Ogle, getting a chance to get some minutes and did well, didn't she, Lori? Coming on at the half and getting a chance to earn a couple of those early free kicks, one of which led to a goal for Houston. She drew the fouls. So we anticipate a pretty decent amount of stoppage time. You can see Christine Nairn trying to get everybody organized, take this moment to figure out how they're going to approach these last few minutes of stoppage. Crowd giving Ogle a hand as she comes off. Barcelona, meanwhile, readying for another corner. Graham Hansen. 4 minutes of stoppage time is what we've got added on here.
I think at this point in time, this is when the Dash have to step up the pressure. Barcelona is going to be fine. We'll just start to circulate this ball around, keeping possession deep in their own half. And those that accuse for a BAM and others to go.
Bruna to Graham Hansen. Graham Hansen closed by the Dash. Houston down a player at the moment after Ogle went off. You are allowed 11 substitutions, but only in 3 substitution windows. Obviously, we are late into stoppage time. What a match. What a tournament this has been. We don't lack for entertainment, do we?
No, and it's been so fun. I mean, you and I get a call and have the privilege of calling the NWSL quite frequently and seeing this Houston Dash and the evolution of them over the last couple seasons. But seeing Barcelona live and just their reaction to going ahead and then conceding goals going behind, how they don't get rattled, how they continue to stay patient, true to their game, so sophisticated in their approach. Fun to see live.
I think you give some credit too to their new manager, Jonathan Giraldez, and the players he kept on the bench and who he brought on late, who made a difference. Alexia, for example, scoring 2 goals. Lika Martins has been really tough to handle for the Houston defense. We said at the outset, Lori, that these teams both had something to prove. I think they both really did that. Houston fighting their way back into the lead after Barcelona led in the first half. They go through Shea Groom, who's been terrific. They get the lead in the 63rd minute, but this response from Barcelona, letting the world know they're #1 for a reason. What a touch by Graham Hansen. Oswala pulls it up but puts it right at Campbell.
And I thought she had bought herself enough time to be able to bend that to far post. Jane Campbell, though, saw it the entire way. But, you know, coming into this tournament for all 4 teams, we talked about how it was going to be a great test against different styles of play, and we've absolutely seen that for Barcelona. They have to go back and see, okay, yes, we've conceded on set pieces. How do we clean that up? We're also susceptible a bit in transition, especially when we play against some teams that have pace up top and want to go direct. What does that look like in terms of getting more pressure on the ball at different areas of the field? And then for Houston, have had a difficult run of play in terms of getting results in the NWSL, but a really good fight, and I would say a really good fight throughout the 90 minutes of this match that they have to be pleased with even outside of the result, especially going into that critical last part of the NWSL season.
Houston winless in their last 6 matches overall. If you include these 2, this could be the final play. Headed out of bounds, and Barcelona can walk out of here with a win.
And great game from both teams. Barcelona coming up top, and I think that is the fair result in this game. Having the majority or almost all of the possession throughout the game, stay true to their style, continue to find ways to break down the Houston Dash defensively, and really credit though to the Houston Dash for majority of the game were disciplined defensively, but just found themselves susceptible right on top of the box, and that would be the go-ahead goal for Alexia, just with her left foot finding that upper corner late in the game.
Barcelona 3-2 winners over Houston in this 3rd place match of the International Champions Cup.